Hi, everyone. My name is Rebecca, and I'm here with a preview, a review, and something you can use for teaching ESL online or for learning English online if you want to self-study. So today's thing you can use that I would like to share with you guys is ReadWorks. Okay, so um, first things first. Okay, the most exciting thing is this is readworks.org. Okay, so if you look at the top, this is readworks.org, .org. It is a nonprofit and it is free to use. Um, they do ask for donations. I have donated before. But as far as I know, there's really no difference between paying for ReadWorks. And like I said, it's a donation, it's not a subscription. So if you choose to donate, I'm pretty sure, I think I donated a one-time donation. Um, it's just free. It's free. I mean, it's so hard to believe that something's free, but this is free. And it's extremely thorough and well done. It's just a great resource. Okay, so second, it is not an ESL material. So I'm doing an ESL channel here. And there's a lot of great educational resources that are not ESL resources, but they can be used to teach English. ReadWorks is one of those. It's not an ESL material. It's a reading site with articles that vary in length from half a page to 2 to 3 pages. The articles are leveled by grade and Lexile number. The students that these articles are meant for are K through 12 students. They have nonfiction and fiction articles. When I first came in contact with ReadWorks, it was through my kids, and they were reading a lot of nonfiction, but there's fiction as well. Each article has a vocabulary list. It's a short one. As I mentioned, the articles are 2 to 3 pages, so the vocabulary list is usually 2 to 3 words. There's multiple choice questions for comprehension and short answer questions to get our students producing full sentences about what they have been reading. You can click on the blue words in most of the articles. I've found when you click on the blue words a couple times, I have found there weren't any translations, but they actually have Spanish and Chinese translations for their keywords, as well as a definition. Okay, the second most exciting thing. Okay, if you are teaching students and they're long-term students that you see weekly or twice a week, there are some thrilling science fiction serials with 5 to 7 chapters each and I should add, they're like for middle grade readers. So maybe 6th through 8th grade, 5th through 8th grade. These are the titles: Hacked, the weird ones, Run, and Alien Kids. So I have used these serials basically in place of a text, in place of a learning system with students that are at like a certain level, maybe intermediate to advanced, um, and definitely in the middle grades, not my younger students. Okay, so how do I share ReadWorks with my students? Well, I display it on the Zoom screen. I do teach using Zoom. I can also download the article. Usually I teach it on Zoom, and then when we're finished for the day, before we wrap up, I download it and I put the PDF in their message center. Um, so without further ado, let's get on to ReadWorks and take a look at the site itself. Okay, so here we are. It's readworks.org. You do make an account, but like I said, it's free. So I'm in my own account at this time. So maybe we'll first go to one of the exciting, thrilling middle grade serials I was telling you about. And you can get there by touching on content. And let's say you don't know what you want. I'm excited to show you guys these serials and maybe I'll show like a easier material for like a more beginning level student as well, because ReadWorks is so overwhelming. There's so many things on ReadWorks. So that's why I thought it'd be nice to do a video to help people see some of the highlights I've found. So let's say we want to do Alien Kids. But maybe I should go back through here first too. This is where you can choose the grade level. And if you want nonfiction, fiction, they even have poetry. You can type, you can get to a certain lexile if you would like, and search for a lexile. But we'll go back. Okay. Alien Kids. I'm gonna look at number 1. Okay. So as you can see, there's more than one chapter in this series. So let's say I click on Alien Kids. Maybe before I even get here, I just want to mention, I've done like a cool little warm up with my students to ask them their opinion on life on other planets. And I was able to actually find like a cool little question sheet under ESL conversations by Googling. And I used one of those to, warm the kids up to this material. Okay, so here it's called The Fence Alien Kids. You can even play with the title a little bit, like Alien Kids. What do you think that means? Well, kids usually refers to humans. So, like, what is it? Like, are we the aliens? Is that what they're trying to say? So anyway, the kids are the aliens. So basically it's a science fiction where humans have moved to another planet. Okay, so we just go through and, sometimes I have the student read aloud. Sometimes we split it up. I do some reading aloud and they do some reading aloud as well. But this is what I meant by clicking on the blue word. Okay, so you get definitions, you get an example, you get a picture, you get the Chinese word, you get the Spanish word. So that's really cool. There's the vocabulary activity. And actually it says before you start reading. I don't routinely use this before or after. I'm not really married to the idea of using it before you start reading, but they recommend you do it before you start reading. So it's kind of neat. Your student can slide if they can control if they're using the type of device where they can control the screen. They can move these dots for you, or they can just tell you, how well they know each one of the words. And then down here, here's an example of the material or of the vocabulary exercise. So they have some that are like this, fill in the blanks. And then they have some where it's like a, synonyms exercise, which is really neat too. There's, the main words are in bubbles, and then you pull and drag synonyms to each bubble. So that's really good. Okay, question set. Okay, so the question set, as you can see, there are some multiple choices. There's also, if you go to the end, some short answer questions. So these are great because, I think one thing that I've noticed our students have in common is they say that they don't get as much practice speaking when they're learning English in school. So when they take an after school class or a tutoring class with us, native speakers, they really want to speak. So it's neat to do these short answers with them because it really is provides a platform for them speaking. So for this, I might even throughout, I might mark their answers if I really feel like it's important for them to have a record of having answered these. You can just write on the screen, you can just annotate, then you can click save in the bar with the annotating tools. And of course, it'll just save a picture. So, they might end with, a handful of pictures showing the questions with their answers. And when it comes to these long answers, I might even like type their answer out for them. And then that way too, if they make a mistake with grammar or, maybe I can think of, a teachable moment where I could teach them a synonym for a word that they use a lot or, something like that, name with what is one difference between Francisco's attitude towards living on Neocosmos and his mom's attitude? So we could say, um, Francisco, I'm just going to type a little bit just to show you. Francisco wants to travel outside the fence and explore. Um, and then we could go on and talk about his mom. Like his mom is more concerned with his safety. Francisco cannot, remember his life on Earth because when he left, he was so young. His mom has more to compare in terms of how much she remembers about Earth. Anyway, so we could just craft an answer and write it down, and then we can save it. And then the students just have notes on what they talked about. Okay, so this is an example of, well, actually, before we go, we can also show you this. So here we can also click print. Okay, but we're not actually going to print it. You can just go through and just keep clicking print until you get to this screen, and then you can hit download. Okay, so now we have it in a PDF that we can send to the student. Okay, so let me just go back and show you like this is a, I believe, 6th grade level. Okay, here's the other tip. Okay, like I said, there's like so many articles on ReadWorks that you might want to start doing this. You can click this. If I was new to the site, this would not be filled in. It would be like an empty little flag, and it's colored in because I've already saved it. And once you save it, it will show up in My Tools, and then you have like a nice long list of things that you've saved. In fact, here we go. We could try this one. This is a 4th grade. This is a nonfiction. So On the Wild Side. And this is pretty neat because it's a story about people who are having exotic pets illegally. So a lot of people like pets. A lot of people want to learn more about pets. That kind of thing is interesting to our students. But let me show you one of my favorites that I use with younger students. Okay. Okay, so this is a fiction. It's called The Great Escape. Again, with the pets. Okay, it's about guinea pigs. Okay, so I'm not a big fan of guinea pigs, but this is a cute little article. So it's a cute story. So the girl is helping her uncle at his pet shop. He leaves her in charge, and the guinea pigs escape. And it has all the same features with the vocabulary and the question set. And we even have this as our final short answer, which I love because we end in a cliffhanger. The guinea pigs have run off. Okay, they're gone. And Sarah doesn't know what to do. Okay, that's how the story ends. So it says, what should Sarah do? Write a conclusion to the story. Okay, so that's an example of something with younger students, but even this is 3rd grade and it goes all the way down to kindergarten, where there's like half-page articles with bigger pictures. It's really a great website. The last thing I want to say is I have to say this is super exciting. With the series Run, which is another one of those science fiction series, it's about zombies, and they actually had readers write the ending. So ReadWorks students who read articles on ReadWorks were able to enter a contest and write the final, see if you see here, write the final chapter. So number 7, alternate ending. I think there might be like 2 or 3 alternate endings because not just one student won, I guess they chose a handful of the entries anyway. So that was amazing to me. I thought that was really cool. I just want to, personally say for these serials that I mentioned, Hacked, Run, Alien Kids, and the weird ones. Okay, for all 4 of those, I've read the entire series with multiple students, and they have loved it's been a very worthwhile activity. Okay. And it's just been great. I've really moved to using textbooks a little bit more, but this was a great resource for me when I had students that just seemed a little too advanced for the textbooks I had on hand at the time. So anyway, it's ReadWorks, guys. That's just a tip I wanted to give you. It's, a free website. It's a very big website. So that's why I thought it would be neat to do a video to just show you guys some of the highlights that I have used in my own teaching. Okay, have a great day and happy teaching.